Alright, what's up guys? We are back on track as you've seen. Had my Forex vid uploaded a few hours ago. And now we are going to go straight into crypto. We're currently in this trade live. For those that didn't pay attention to the previous, still sticking to the plan here. Some demand may be created. This candle closure is going to be very important, so we will monitor that. But for now, we're going to go straight into Bitcoin. Downtrend continues. Keep it plain and simple. Yeah. Still bearish across the board, running through demand. Keep an eye out for distributions. Keep an eye out for pullbacks where we may form distributions. Other than that, just stick to the plan, and that's obviously going to mean that USDT dominance is doing the exact opposite. Bullish across the board here, and we remain bullish across the board. We have this little, my apologies. We had this little range here which completed itself, and then it looks like this bigger range is also going to complete itself. So just an FYI on that. Yeah, so far, like, expect this to reach where my alert is. Expect this is the technical target. Expect it to hit it around this 8.28, 8.3% mark. I can even see it hitting supply. Like, I think it will hit supply. It should most likely respect it. So a real bottom in crypto, you could say, will be solidified around here. That's kind of what I think. Like, there is reason to go higher. This whole chart's kind of just like liquidity in a way. Will it grab it? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, you can only trade confirmations, as we know. Yeah, it is some form of liquidity up here. So, like, just be aware of that, I guess. Other than that, yeah. Short to midterm, I expect this range to complete itself. We might still have some range-bound price action. Like, doesn't mean we can't do this and then come back up and complete the range. But I do think that this supply will be respected. And yeah, as of now, this just means a continuation of altcoin shorts, really. There's no other way that I can better explain this. Everything's just going to go lower. If there's no range presenting itself, then I am not interested. We have a potential distribution here. We have gone quite low into discount. However, there is a lot of liquidity being left behind up here. So I do think that we might revisit this in the short to midterm, I guess. It's not the cleanest supply, but we'll see if this is valid supply. This is, it's like borderline valid supply. It has been ever so slightly mitigated, but technically speaking, so has that. I'm more inclined to use this as my supply. Why does this go down? Yeah, I'm more inclined to use this as my supply and then just use that. Just put that line to indicate where the true inefficiency starts from, which is just above this. Which can technically speaking also be used as some form of extreme liquidity. So I'm confident in that if we mitigate just this area as a whole and then break structure back down, then I would be willing to take a short here. Other than that, I'm just going to stay patient. But I do like the liquidity below. Like the liquidity below is really, really nice. Like you can technically call these like triple lows right below. So definitely a nice liquidity target that is. And then here's our infamous return to zone. I don't know why I said that, but yeah, that's Asta. That's it. Like crypto market as a whole, pretty simple, guys. Don't overcomplicate it. Like, look for distributions. Expect things to go lower. If there's like a very nice looking accumulation, like this might be here, this has to be an A++ setup if you're going to take it. If it's not an A++ setup, I would not even bother, to be completely frank with you. And so far, it is not an A++ setup because of the liquidity that's to our left. There you go. Virtual. Not really interested in this anymore. I'm willing to pull my range from here based on how we move, but I don't see price doing that. It's just too high time frame of a range, which I don't think will play out. Just like USDT needs to go low for this to go up. So right now it's just been going higher. So this is most likely just gonna maybe bounce off this supply and just continue going lower. Yeah, look, I'll draw it up, but I don't expect much from this. If anything, maybe like some local. Yeah, if anything, I expect some local scalp in here. This is looking a lot more likely, rather than this, which is just not even confirmed. Like, yeah, I'm not really going to use that as a range. I need price to come lower for now. We'll leave that as is. Pump fun. Obviously we distributed there. Yeah, solid distribution there. Right now, locally, I'm not seeing a lot from Pump Fund, so I'm not really going to chart anything. Maybe if this becomes a range, which it definitely can. I just don't like how we front ran this. How we front ran our tap one. Not a fan personally, but we will see. I will turn my notifications off. All right, whiff. Well, we caught this distribution, we just never entered it. And then price action here is not of any interest to me. So I will continue moving down the list. Render is pushing through. This is way too. It's like a pair 3 schematic essentially. Render isn't doing a whole lot of price action. Not a fan. I'm going to skim through. This could be we had a very in-depth forex and commodities market check, but it looks like crypto might be pretty straight to the point. Like the whole market is expected to go lower. Yeah, just looking for distributions. If you don't see them, then what also has been pretty off has been like the control bar. It just hasn't. I feel like it just hasn't been attaching itself to the correct POIs when I like try to select the POI. Anyway, Litecoin is going a lot lower, leaving. Oh, it's ran through this supply. Is this a high time frame accumulation? No. Okay, this was completed. Remember this entry, which we hesitated and never entered. Fair play on the range completing itself. Doge. We might get a local accumulation, but we've kind technically, yeah. This is to an extent still extreme liquidity, but same thing. You just got to realize what the context, what the higher time frame context of the market is, and also the distances. Tap 1 to 2 is 5 days 6 hours. Tap 2 to present is 5 days. It'll be 5 days 6 hours here. I'll let this run for a little bit, but don't think we're going to get much from it. BNB has, well, whatever supply was in here, I would confidently say that it has mitigated it. Lovely. Really, really nice reaction from price on this. What's very important for me is to see how it comes back down. It's obviously grabbed everything there was, but it's not. This is never a clean model. Therefore, I'm not really interested in this anymore. Let's have a look at Link. Those POIs remain. We've mitigated supply. I'm not too interested anymore. If we come back up, nice return to zone and sweep some of this, then I'll be interested, but otherwise I am not interested. Quant. And we had this range as well in Quant, which has this. It has respected demand beautifully, and it's actually created more demand in the process. So this is going to be, just from a journaling perspective, this is going to be an interesting model to look at. Very curious to see how it reacts. So we will leave that as is. XMR. Respected demand. Lovely. Sol, this is pretty much invalid. Like, it's not going to come back up and hit these POIs. It's breaking through extreme demand of this range. Yeah, overall, as a matter of fact, I'm even going to remove all the drawings here. Let me just quickly bounce to AUD CAD, see what is going on. Okay, not a whole lot. Leave that as is. Alright, we were up to XRP. Same thing, going lower, entering demand. We're going to leave price here and make sure it you, like, theoretically speaking, you could potentially get an accumulation because you got demand below, so we'll monitor it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Give this pair a bit more time. There is XRP. Pepe as well. I don't actually mind this. I just don't mind how this range is kind of like shaped up. Like, I've had ranges similar to that play out quite well, and there's just it does look to be some form of bottom. There is obviously demand, heavy demand below, so we can always price can always come back lower and bounce off this demand, like as a last resort. There's honestly not much higher, there's not much lower than this demand. So, but overall, however, let me have a look at that. I do think this might get swept because we've got triple lows right here. So just as an FYI, these are valid triple lows. So definitely be aware there. You know what, because I didn't do it. Let me put my alerts here and we'll put one above as well. Lovely. Hype. Hype is going higher. This range is still sort of at play. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out for a PO3 schematic, which may have already happened. But this is the perfect range for a PO3 schematic. So we'll see if we can get this. If we can get an extended tap into the supply, mitigate it, and confidently break structure, I'm honestly willing to enter this and run it at least until that demand. But hype is at a really beautiful PO3 level here. Like, I would seriously be, given the scope of the market and where we are, I'll be paying very close attention. It's even created some form of overlapping supply. Is it valid though, is my question. Yeah, so it's technically speaking, you can kind of say it's confirmed. It's not the cleanest, don't get me wrong. There is demand here, which we have just respected. like ever so slightly. And there's also heavy demand here, so it could be a mixture of things. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be entering just yet. I would want a very clean. Like, it is technically a confirmed local model, which has just grabbed extremes and hasn't completed itself. But for a re-entry, I do need a nice return to zone in here, which I'm not getting as of yet. Is there liquidity? There is. Which is right here. So definitely keep an eye out on hype, to be honest. We could be at a very pivotal price point here where we could definitely be starting to slowly shift towards this high time frame range low, but there is a lot of demand below as well. So yeah, there's just a few things that we have to pay attention to here and just be a little bit cautious. But nevertheless, we will wait and see what happens. But yeah, I would like to see a nicer return to zone. So we'll see what happens there. Fart coin, same thing, going lower. I think maybe there was a local distribution there. Okay, way too low time frame for me to even bother with it. And then I'm gonna assume that we've mitigated all the supply in here. We have. Should we go higher, we have this, a slightly more refined area. Leave that as is. XLM has left heaps of demand below. Not a whole lot to do here for XLM, to be completely honest. We've mitigated demand there. I'm expecting lower for now. Grab all this. Yeah, like look for retracements, but there's no real POIs that price could retrace to. We have this supply. See how it did that again? It kind of just like skips or like bypasses points on the chart. It's not the be all end all really, to be honest. Alright, 2 hour, anything here. It's mitigated 2 hour, just not the 1 hour. So we do have more refined supply here, and then just to make it obvious that we have mitigated something, and it wasn't like a, once again, it wasn't like a, like we front ran supply, we have mitigated supply, there's just more refined supply above. Ton, this is definitely very interesting. Very interesting range here. I think any one of you would be quite interested in monitoring this price action. Extreme liquidity is technically this, which I will use as extreme liquidity. Euro NZD is entering the rectangle. Okay, this will be interesting. All right. And then in terms of extreme supply, there's no real extreme supply other than this, and it's not even like extreme supply. Everything here has been mitigated, as you can see. The only supply POI I will use is this this 5-minute OBI. There's just nothing else. There is simply nothing else. But it is a valid POI, so we will monitor that. Okay, Aave is next. Let me see how we are looking at Euro NZD. I do like the, so far, okay, we kind of have left some form of demand below. We have mitigated our first supply, and then we have more refined supply above, and then we have this market structure low. So yeah, if we break this low, this will be fairly good low to break, but whether we do it is also another question. Yeah, I just don't like how aggressive we've moved up here in pre-New York, leaving behind some. We haven't really left behind demand, to be honest. We've left some form of demand here, but and then if we break structure, this 5-minute OBIF will be interesting to see how we move from it. All right, we'll let that do its thing. Aave was next. Did we look at Ton? Yes, we did. Ton is still at play, and we'll move this up a little bit. Aave, that we had that high time frame accumulation, which kind of got invalidated, and we have now created another low time frame accumulation at the potential tap 3 of this high time frame accumulation. So I'm kind of just looking for a local model here to form, and then we're looking for a pullback into the range. Otherwise, if we continue going lower, then obviously no confirmations there. I'm also going to delete these. So yeah, no real reason to enter anything here, to be completely honest with you. Just be patient, guys. Don't rush. Just be patient. Yeah. There's no real reason for us to go lower either, but nevertheless, like, if this pair wants to go lower, it will go lower. So just be patient. Trade the confirmations. Look at the bigger picture. Sui, not doing a whole lot I'm interested in. Just going lower as well. Bitcoin Cash. Just high time frame distribution is almost complete. Can I just say congratulations to anyone that entered this. Well done. You deserve a very big pat on the back. Or you'll get an even bigger pat on the back, and that is the risk reward from the take profit. Trump is not doing a whole lot. Don't like anything with his price action at the moment. Not interested. And then Brett is not doing a whole lot. So yeah, that's it for crypto today, guys. Keeping it fairly short, fairly simple. My face looks yellow eyes, just realised. But yeah, I guess to sum up, keep an eye on Ton. Keep somewhat of an eye on Asta. I don't think we'll get much, but keep an eye on Ton. And then other than that, your NZD is my main focus. I highly advise, if you've made it this far, watch my Forex breakdown. A lot of stuff was said in there, and highly valuable. And yeah, at the moment, I'm just going to monitor this, see what we're doing, as I might need to, as my stop loss might get hit, which is above here. And yeah, I obviously broke down exactly why I entered here, why I thought the reasons for it not being a good trade or not being a good entry, and then the reasons for it being a good entry. So all of that is in the Forex video, which I highly advise you to watch. But yeah, that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to monitor this throughout the rest of the evening, and then I've also got this GBP and NZD potential and re-entry opportunity if not, yeah. And then the same thing, I break this down as well. So yeah, all right, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.